All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for stopping by this evening, where we will be giving you guys all of the updates that are surrounding the Chinese balloon situation. Stand by, I'll begin my updates here shortly. Uknin and Asilla, how are you doing this evening? Thank you so much for tuning in. Michelle Welch, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Just getting some things ready here in the background, and we will begin going through the updates and the reports on the Chinese spy balloon situation. Ethan number C137 says, "Oh great Nemico of the live stream, impart us of your wisdom on the holy relics drifting in our skies." I don't know if I'd call them, I guess they are holy now that they've been shot down. Or at least one. One has been shot down. I guess I can go ahead and just break that news to everybody, even though everybody already knows already. It's been all over the news this evening. But yes, one of the Chinese spy balloons has been shot down, but there is still another in the skies over Latin America. But before we get into that, we're going to start off with the updates on the one that was shot down over the U.S., which we have been tracking for the past 2 days. Give us a few moments here, and then we will start going through those updates here. I'm just trying to get the stream posted over onto the Discord here. By the way, if you don't know, we do have a Discord server. There's a link to that in the description below this stream. Tango Down, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Glad to see you. Bob Ross, thank you so much for stopping by today. Mevadieta, good to see you back. Good to see you back. Thank you so much for stopping by. So we have footage from multiple different angles of the spy balloon being shot down this evening. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start showing you those here. Guess I'll switch over to our other screen here so we can see that in greater detail. Mark CX says, "Nemico, are you awake?" Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Horizons, nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. So the first piece of footage here we have is one of the first pieces I saw. And I can go ahead and play that for you now. It shows, again, the balloon being shot down here. And we have quite a few different pieces of footage for it. Actually, you know what? The first one I'll show you guys is this one here. So this piece of footage here, go ahead and pause it quick before I start it. Just for some context here, this shows fighter jets circling the balloon before it was shot down right off Myrtle Beach. So these are, I believe, F-22s. Pretty sure they are F-22s. Yeah, F-22s. Just wanted to get confirmation on that. Pentagon officials said 2 fighter jets from Langley Air Force Base attacked the balloon at 2:39 p.m. Eastern, or I believe that's Eastern time. Yep, some 6 miles off the coast of South Carolina. One of the F-22 fighters fired a Sidewinder air-to-air missile, downing the balloon, which was flying at an altitude of 60,000 and 65,000 feet. Let's go ahead and watch this video here. Again, this shows fighter jets circling the balloon before it was shot down. Mark CX says, Nemico, my buddy was on Myrtle Beach watching it all go down from his roof. It was crazy. I would have loved to be there to see this live. That would have been hilarious. Finally seeing this balloon would have been awe-inspiring and hilarious all the same. Seeing this balloon finally get shot out of the skies. Michelle Welch says, hey, my son is here with me listening to you. Thank you so much, Michelle Welch and Son, for tuning in this evening. Thank you guys for stopping by. Joe Blown Wind, thank you so much for stopping by this evening. 69, nice to see you in the live chat tonight. Good on you. Good on you. Thank you so much for stopping by. So again, I'll go ahead and play this clip here. This shows footage of 2 fighter jets circling the balloon prior to shooting it down. Let's take a look. Just hanging out on the beach, you know, while there's a Chinese spy balloon 60,000 feet above us being circled by F-22 Raptors. No big deal. Christian Law, thank you so much for tuning in, asks, hi, just tuned in. What are we watching right now? This clip here that we're seeing, again, is a clip of F-22 Raptors circling the balloon prior to it getting shot down off the east coast of the United States. Serafix, thank you so much for stopping by. You can see the balloon there. I'm surprised you could actually see it. It must have been flying at a lower altitude. That doesn't look like a total 60,000 feet. They said, I think, in the Pentagon press release that it was 60,000 feet, though. All right, so let's go back. This is the first piece of footage here that I saw today. I was actually watching it live. I watched this happen live, and it was wild, absolutely wild. Shenanigans says, in a possible one in Canada and another possible one in India. I've heard, I've been hearing rumors all night. We'll look into those rumors here shortly after we watch the footage of the first and primary balloon here, the one that was over the U.S. Somebody says one in Japan a few months ago and a few weeks ago. Another one was in the Philippines. Again, we'll have to take a look at these reports of other balloons. There's quite a few. I know for a fact there's one over Latin America. That's been confirmed by the Pentagon, so at least there's that. KJC, thank you so much for stopping by this evening. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Do It for Brock says, would have looked cooler with tracer round hitting the balloon instead of a missile. I don't know. In one of the videos, you see the contrail from the missile, and I'll show you that video now in a few moments. So, all right. So let's take a look at this video here.
I am checking around on several different websites here. We're checking with the Associated Press. We're checking Twitter on several different official.
I like his reaction. He says, oh. All right, I'm going to turn the subtitles off so we can actually see what's going on here and full screen this video. Austin Husky says, F-22 was really like GG, easy, uninstall. Yeah, this was, I mean, so I had heard initially rumors that it took them like 4 attempts to shoot it down, but I'm not sure how true that is because I only saw like one contrail from a missile when I was watching live. I didn't see any other signs that it had taken them more than 1 attempt to shoot this thing down. But I have heard, and the Pentagon, I think, even talked about this a little bit, that that shooting them down is not super easy, and because like they don't have an IR signature like a plane would, so they had to basically catch the balloon in the sunlight, where the part facing the sun is warm and gives off an IR signature. You know, again, because it's a little bit warmer on that side facing the sun. That's what I heard. I'm not sure how much truth there is to that, but nevertheless, let's go ahead and watch this video here.
On several different official. Oh.
Okay,
around.
1 second. I'll restart it.
I am checking around on several different websites here. We're checking with the Associated Press. We're checking Twitter on several different official. Oh. Well, I believe it just happened there. That was it. Live, raw, and unfiltered. It appears that China spy balloon has now been shot.
So if you notice, you can see the jet. You can see that F-22 Raptor flying underneath the balloon here after it's shot down. You can also see that payload that was underneath that balloon detaching and falling through the air. Leroy Jenkins says, Nemico, China's mad. They said that they are discontent with the balloon getting shot down and that they have the right to take further action. I haven't read the reports yet, the Chinese reaction, but we'll read those together here. Again, I would have liked to have been live earlier when this all happened with you guys, but I had to do other work today. So, but nevertheless, we're here. We're going through all of the reports. First, I have all these different angles and clips of the balloon actually being shot down. So we're going to go through those first, and then we'll get into some of the reports that have come out, both from the U.S. government, from China, and from different news agencies, and talk a little bit about this. So I'll rewind here again. Let's watch this
on
first
several
clip.
different official.
So you can see the missile striking. In fact, even right here before the balloon deflates, you can see on screen here there's this little white signature next to the balloon here. That's that missile contrail passing through the balloon. See, no, it's not there, and then boom, it's there. All right, let's go ahead and watch this again.
On several different official.
It strikes the balloon, and very quickly the payload begins to
I believe it
fall
just happened
through the
there.
air.
That was it. Live, raw, and unfiltered. It appears that China spy.
And right there, you can see our handy-dandy F-22 Raptor, you know, getting it. He's absolutely getting it.
Spy balloon has now been shot down over the Atlantic Ocean. You are taking a live look here, live, raw, and unfiltered, as that balloon appears to be heading downward after it has been shot down.
You know, I've heard a lot of people saying that this is the first air-to-air kill for the F-22. Is that true? Is that actually true? Did the F-22 just lose its air-to-air virginity? Is that what occurred here today? I can't. Part of me feels like I can't believe that, like that the F-22 has not been used at all in combat. That's absolutely crazy. All right, so again, here you can see the balloon falling through the air. Doing its thing. So that's about all there is really for that clip. I mean, it does go on to continue showing it falling. You can see debris coming off of it. I had seen some pictures in the Discord somebody left that showed like a small blob on Doppler radar, saying that was the signature from the debris field, but I don't know how much merit there is to that. Like if that's true or not. Maybe if somebody could help me confirm that. Bird Lover says, hello, just got here. Thank you for the great footage. No problem. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of different clips here. We'll go to the next one now. This one, it's another clip here showing, again, the shooting down of the Chinese spy balloon. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this one's really nice because you can see up close the missile really impacting. It looks like it hit the payload itself and just turned it to dust. Look at that. You got balloon, and then you got dust. It literally looks like it just turned that the payload underneath the balloon into nothing. You can see it start to plummet down to Earth there after it was shot. And then in this clip here, you can actually see the F-22s circling it. I believe this is, I mean, this is before, obviously, because it's like still above land. Yeah, and you can see it inflated there. Yeah, that was a clip again of the F-22s circling the balloon prior to shooting it down. Okay, we'll go to the next clip here. This video comes from Surfside Beach, where a crowd had gathered and watched this take place. Let's take a look.
Yeah, here it comes.
Still falling now.
It's separated.
It is kind of grainy. Yeah, it's only 240p. This video was literally shot on a potato. Let's take a look.
Yeah, here it
It's
comes.
still falling now.
It's separated.
Love you, bye.
Mind-boggling to me that some people were able to like actually witness that, to stand on a beach and witness this balloon get shot down. Pretty crazy. And then I have this footage here. In this footage here, it's interesting because you can see the contrail, the missile contrail from the F-22 as it's fired. Joe Blown Wind, thank you so much for the super chat there. Glad to have you in the chat this evening. Says Beer Fund. Well, I will definitely put it towards good use. Jen T says, Nemico, are you noting on how it's falling, etc.? You keep pausing. Yes, it was falling. It did fall. I think I mentioned that a few times. The payload, as I said, the payload detached from the balloon and begun plummeting to Earth, as you saw in those clips there. Anyway, this video here, again, shows the F-22 Raptor firing its missile on the balloon. And you can actually see, if you look close enough, the contrail for the missile. So I'm going to back it up a little bit because it looked like the video might have lagged out there for a second. So if you actually notice here, you'll see, we have one line in the air here, one contrail. And if you watch closely, it separates into two. One is the jet, one is the missile. Really quick, though, before I play it, I'm going to add a few comments here. I am asked, Doppler radar caught the debris field. Which station? Well, I don't think it was a station. I think it was like a online Doppler radar thing. I don't know. I saw an image in the Discord that somebody had posted. In fact, I'll bring it up here in just a moment. We'll look at it. That somebody had claimed that the debris field from this had actually picked up on a Doppler radar. Shenanigans says, Nemico Network, the bigger question is, when was the last time a U.S. fighter jet shot something foreign on U.S. property? You mean like on U.S. territory? Yeah, that's true. I mean, we do it in training all the time, but not, not in practice like this against an enemy target. JC Gamer 12, thank you so much for becoming a member there. Much appreciated. Glad to have you back this evening. Gen T says, Nemico, if you're talking, we can't hear you. Oh, well, I hope you can. Can you guys hear me? I should be able to be coming in clear right now. Mark CX says, all those people recording are probably Nemico fans. You never know. Is Ty wrecking your mama? Great name, by the way. Says, I dropped a video from LA in the Discord. I'll have to take a look at it. Mark CX says, check the video I posted in hashtag videos, the videos channel over on Discord he's referring to. It's my buddy's angle, and it's pretty decent. I'll take a look at that, Mark, here shortly. JC Gamer asks, Nemico, do you have any idea on what happened to the Latin America balloon or the other balloon? We're still tracking the Latin America balloon. We'll talk about that here after we get through the clips of this first balloon being shot down, because we have quite a few of them. So again, I wanted to show you guys this clip here. This is again the F-22 Raptor firing the missile on the balloon. You can see the missile, the contrail separating from the F-22 contrail. Let's take a look. So again, just to pause again quick, you can see here now on screen the two separate contrails. Let's keep taking a look here. You'll be able to see the balloon actually. I think the impact you can see as well. Yeah, right there. So that puff of smoke you saw, it's really hard to see. You have to be looking really closely. But you notice the change here on the balloon, kind of a visual change. That's when it impacts the spy balloon. And so again, that's the F-22 flying underneath. But see that other contrails from the missile actually being launched. So here's a nice close-up that shows literally what we just saw. I'll kind of back that up a little bit. So right here, you can see F-22, spy balloon, and then up here on top, that contrail is the missile. And there it is falling to the ground, and you can see the debris coming off of it as well, with pretty intense. Kennedy M80 says, good evening and thank you for the coverage. Thank you, Kennedy, for tuning in this evening. 69 says, hear you loud and clear. Good, good. Yes, so some people said the stream was having some lag there for a minute. We've had no problems the past 2 nights, but we may have some issues this evening. Not sure. Could be that I have way too many tabs open, which is often the case. So again, you guys just saw those videos there of the balloon being shot down. We'll now go ahead and look at some reports. Really quickly, though, I'm going to check. Okay, so we have this report here from the New York Post. This was posted by Synex in the Discord server. Thank you so much, Synex, for sending this over. So this talks about China's claims right to respond further after U.S. shoots down spy balloon. You know, I find it funny that that China is so angry over what they called a civilian airship. Okay, I think that's interesting. So I'll go ahead and read this here. It says, the Chinese government said Saturday that President Biden's decision to shoot down the spy balloon that crossed America was an excessive reaction and that it retains the right to respond further. China claims that its balloon was a civilian airship and not the spy device the U.S. claimed it to be, and said that the U.S.'s decision to destroy its property seriously violates international convention, according to a statement obtained by the New York Times. Quote here, in these circumstances, for the United States to insist on using armed force is clearly an excessive reaction that seriously violates international convention, the statement said. China will resolutely defend the legitimate rights and interests of the enterprise involved and retains the right to respond further. 2 U.S. Air Force fighter jets took out the balloon off the coast of North Carolina Saturday. For those that don't know, they used a Sidewinder missile to take out the balloon, and I believe I can actually get you the exact model of that Sidewinder missile. I know somebody had left it here in my chat, so I'm scrolling up. It was a A-9. trying to find the exact model here. It was a A9X missile. Or no, it was an AIM-9X Sidewinder air-to-air missile. Fun fact, the price on these per missile, per shot, are $380,000 US. So they spent $380,000 US to shoot down one spy balloon, which I know we all wanted to see it shot down. It's been shot down. However, I find that funny that it literally costed them $380,000. Well, you got to add on all of the money it cost them to fly that F-22 Raptor, plus, again, how much it costed to fuel the Raptor, all the logistics and all the money that comes along with that. And again, but I found it funny that the missile itself is around $380,000 US. KJC, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, any additional info on the third balloon? E3B ran racetracks above U.S. today in San Francisco. Very odd. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of activity from the E3B, which sometimes is common, but it's more concerning when you're seeing activity like what's happening here. As for the third balloon, there is one still hovering over Latin America. We're going to try to get some information for you on that. Last heard, it was still in the air. Sinek says, yep, and first foreign aircraft takedown over U.S. soil since World War II, from what I know. Someone with better history knowledge, please correct me if wrong, he says. Second Chinese spy balloon in the live chat says China said something about the destroyed balloon. Yes, it did. What was the words that they used? What was the word that people were using earlier? They disapprove, something like that. They didn't like it. They didn't take it too well. Let's say that. A quote here, again, I'll read it again. In these circumstances, for the United States to insist on using armed force is clearly an excessive reaction, they said, that seriously violates international convention. China, this is a quote from the Chinese, saying China will resolutely defend the legitimate rights and interests of the enterprise involved and retains the right to respond further. Interesting. Says here, by the time the white orb, the size of 3 school buses, deflated and fell into the ocean, it had spent 8 days in the country and covered more than 4,000 miles of American territory. Biden admitted, by the way, the 4 days thing, it's because they were over Alaska for a while. So they're kind of counting the 4 days since it's been in Alaska. Biden admitted that the Pentagon had known about the balloons that entered U.S. airspace, but decided to keep their knowledge of it a secret to preserve the Chinese-American relationship ahead of Secretary of State Antony Blinken's planned meeting with President Xi Jinping of Beijing. China had publicly said Friday that the balloon was a civilian airship used for research, mainly meteorological purposes, and that it had deviated from its planned course. I remember they had mentioned that was due to some westerly winds that had pushed it off course. However, again, the Pentagon came out right after they made that statement and said, no, that's not the case. We know it's a spy balloon. And another thing that makes it, kind of sus, so to speak, is that there's multiple other balloons apparently being reported. Again, you have the Latin America balloon, which is confirmed. But yeah, it's pretty interesting the way that China has reacted to this and the way that the U.S. has reacted to this as well. So I'll read you guys here some updates. 10 minutes ago, Costa Rica confirmed sightings of second balloon over San Jose. Costa Rica on Saturday evening confirmed there had been sightings earlier this week of a large white observation balloon flying over the capital of San Jose. The balloon was similar in appearance to the Chinese balloon shot down by the United States. The Director General of Costa Rica's Civil Aviation, Fernando Naranjo Elizondo, kind of a mouthful there, told CNN that the airship spotted above San Jose on Thursday was, quote, not a balloon that originated from Costa Rica, noting that the balloon did not come down on Costa Rican territory. He said there were no plans for further investigations because the balloon has disappeared. The U.S. administration confident the Chinese balloon was seeking to monitor sensitive military sites. This is an update from 26 minutes ago. It says here a senior U.S. administration official has pushed back on China's repeated claims that the downed balloon was simply for, quote, civilian use, and it had made its way into American airspace by accident. It says this was a PRC, People's Republic of China, for those who don't know, surveillance balloon. The surveillance balloon purposely traversed the United States and Canada, and we are confident it was seeking to monitor sensitive military sites. Its route over the United States near many potentially sensitive sites contradicts the PRC government explanation that it was a weather balloon. A quote here saying both balloons also carry surveillance equipment not usually associated with standard meteorological activities or civilian research, the official said. Quote, collection pod equipment and solar panels located on the metal truss suspended below the balloon are a prominent feature of both balloons. The official said China is able to, quote, actively maneuver the balloons to overfly specific locations, pointing to the balloon's flight patterns and the small motors and propellers seen in videos as evidence. So they were equipped with motors and propellers. This is the first time I've heard of that. This is the first time I heard that information, that they had motors and propellers on them. The pushback comes after China's foreign ministry expressed, quote, dissatisfaction and protest with the, that was it, dissatisfied, that's what they said, right, with the U.S. decision to shoot down the balloon as it reached the Atlantic Ocean today. China once again claimed the balloon was for, quote, civilian use and entered the U.S. due to force majeure, again referring to those westerly winds. It was completely an accident, again, said the Chinese. An article here talking again about China's history of spying in the U.S. The Chinese balloon incident has fueled a diplomatic crisis between China and the United States, but this isn't an isolated incident. Here's a look at some ways China has spied on the U.S., including satellites, cell phone towers, and even people. I'm actually not going to go in and read all of those cases. We might do that later, though. It says here, Chinese balloon incident should not be tolerated by the international community. This comes from Taiwan. Taiwan said Sunday that the Chinese balloon incident should not be tolerated by the civilized international community. Such actions by the Chinese Communist Party contravene international law, breach the airspace of other countries, and violate their sovereignty, Taiwan's foreign ministry said in a statement. It called on China's government to, quote, immediately cease conduct of this kind that encroaches on other countries and causes regional instability. China, which insists the balloon was a civilian research vessel, has expressed its strong dissatisfaction and protest. I like how they use that wording, dissatisfaction, with us shooting the balloon down. I believe we were dissatisfied with them flying it over our airspace. 69 has reached out to me on Discord and with a Mark Hippler buffering GIF, which leads me to believe that the stream is having some buffering issues this evening. Well, we got through two nights of streaming with no issues, and of course on the third night we're going to probably have some issues. No worries though, we shall continue. Figures though. – 69 says, you are buffering more than we are learning. That is unfortunate. I'll take a look here on my end, see what I can see. This evening's bitrate, for some reason, is not good. No bueno. We're currently outputting about half the bitrate we usually would. Seemed like it was working fine for the intro, but all of a sudden we're having an issue. Going to look into the issue here. Harlan Martin says hello from Texas. Hello to you, Harlan. Kitty Gundy says cutting in and out. I'm going to take a look at that here. 69 says going back 15 seconds for me worked. Not watching live. Yeah, so if you guys could try that. Just rewind by like 15 to 30 seconds, and that might help the buffering issue. Looks like our bitrate is decreased this evening, more so than it usually is. Yeah, we haven't had any issues the past few nights of streaming, but of course, you can't always win them all. Ukton says I mentioned the propellers earlier. Yeah, I actually had not heard reports of the propellers whatsoever. It says here government agencies coordinated to determine the right time and place to intercept the balloon. As I showed you earlier, there were videos, and here's even a picture of it, of the F-22s circling the balloon before shooting it down. You can see that you can barely see there's a speck right above my mouse here. That's the balloon itself. And then these contrails here are from the F-22s orbiting the balloon. If we continue to have buffering issues, I'll probably take the stream down for a little while and then restart it. That might fix it. Susan Baker, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Serafix says, yep, roll back about 15 seconds and it fixes it. Just going ahead and taking a poke around, see if I can help the issue. There could be something I could do here to fix it on my end without restarting it. Joe Blow-Win says, working fine for me. He's not having any issues. So it seems like only a few of you guys are having issues. But I can definitely tell my bitrate is not high as it usually is right now for some reason. It's about half. Ukton says Nemico was a private contractor that was making the components for the People's Liberation Army. That is to say the PLA. Okay. Ukton says the Chinese call that private. I see. Right on. JZ Gamer says the balloon dropped an EMP near Nemico's house. Yeah, you never know. That could be. That's audio coming from Taitung, Taiwan, I believe. Yeah, that's our Taitung audio. I'll mute that. Digit, I just saw your message in Discord. I just saw that message. Yes, so some people said they're having a delay. Some people are having buffering, but some people it's absolutely fine. Yeah, 100%. I am. He has it right. He knows what's going on. He says the Chinese sent a balloon to disrupt Nemico's broadcast. I may, yeah, I may just call it if we're having issues. I might have to stop the stream and then restart it later. Figure out what's going on. Yeah, as I said earlier, we've been streaming for 2 nights, no issues at all. Hugo says, so the F-22 Raptors were the confirmed aircraft used to shoot down the spy balloon? Yes, indeed. So people asking about Mehmet. Yeah, Mehmet is back in Kyiv in Ukraine. He's doing well. We see him he pops in the live chat every once in a while, and he's on the Discord server. He posts quite often. Yeah, so it looks like we're having some issues, guys. So it looks like the Chinese are jamming our stream actively. I repeat, the Chinese are jamming our stream. Serafix asks, apologies if this was answered already, but how far offshore was it shot down? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was close to. It was pretty close to shore. Yeah, so it does look. It does look like the Chinese are jamming our stream. Yeah, so I guess it is official, guys. The Chinese are jamming our live stream this evening. Um, so we may have to end the stream for now and deploy some countermeasures. Lily says, I'm not buffering. It seems like 50% of you are buffering and 50% of you aren't buffering. 50% of you say you're having no issues, and 50% say they are having issues. I'm blaming the Chinese. It looks like the Chinese government is actively, the PLA are actively jamming our live stream this evening. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream off here. I'll take it down for a little while. We'll deploy those countermeasures so that the Chinese can't continue to jam our transmissions here. And then we will restart the stream later this evening, and I'll probably cover the balloon a little bit more, talk about it. We'll try to get eyes on that third balloon, see if we can figure out what's going on with that third balloon. Um, uh, and I think we'll take a look at some of the other reports surrounding this entire situation here. But we'll have to do that later because, again, it looks like the Chinese are jamming our live stream at this time. So I think what I'm going to do is going to go and end off the stream for this evening. I'll take a look at everything on our end. We'll deploy those countermeasures to get the Chinese to stop jamming our stream. And then I will be back and we will continue reporting and giving you guys the updates on everything in the balloon world. For now, though, guys, if you're still with us, I know a few of you are saying you're having some issues. If you're still with us, you're watching Nemico Network, and we will be back shortly after we get to the bottom of these Chinese, the Chinese jamming our live stream, which they are most certainly doing.